Welcome to Film Phreeks. This is Justin Llewellyn.
And Eddie Williams.
And tonight we're going to be doing another film that we had checked out on Netflix, which was part of a double feature that we saw with Polar. And this one we're talking about is Velvet Buzzsaw, which is directed by acclaimed director Dan Gilroy, who in the 90s, he was actually big as a screenwriter. He did movies such as Free Jack, and he also did movies. He actually wrote different movies like in the 90s, like Chasers, and later on his big debut came from Nightcrawler from 2014 as a director,
which I fucking loved.
Yeah, and this movie he directed, Velvet Buzzsaw, was released on Netflix, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal and quite a big cast. You got Rene Russo, Toni Collette, John Malkovich, and so on. And this movie it basically deals with different people that come to this art music, come to exhibit art, basically. And we have a array of different characters in this, because we have an ensemble cast that you have Jake Gyllenhaal.
You got the one, what's her face, the girl that owns the art gallery. She's like kind of like
Rene Russo.
Yeah, she's like the woman who owns the art gallery. All she sees is dollar signs, so on and so forth. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's the guy who really loves art. Like,
the art critic.
It's not about money. It's his passion.
Yeah, he's obsessed with it.
He's known as like the greatest like critic, and like he's a big deal whenever he's around your material.
Yeah.
Your art, and he's a big deal. Like, he's like the Roger Ebert of fucking art. And then you got him. Then you got a lot of other characters. You got that one girl from Stranger Things in it too.
Yeah.
Which she played the little girl with the glasses.
Yeah, that's her.
Then you have basically John Malkovich and all the other guys, like Toni Collette and all them. The rest of them are pretty much people who are a part of the art.
Yeah, where they're interested in the...
Like they're all trying to put their hands in the piggy bank.
Yeah, and one day this girl who's we also have this other girl that's played by Zoe Zol Ashton. She's the girl who's with Jake Gyllenhaal in the beginning. It's his agent who's trying to talking about the art and stuff. And basically one day she discovers that there's like this painting that she finds out about, and it brings the attention to everyone together. And they start to notice that this painting, which is by this artist named Dees, it has images that that are basically dark and macabre and interesting.
It grabs your eyesight. It grabs like your mood and everything. It's like you're hypnotized.
Yeah.
At how the beauty of what the guy might have done, and it has a dark history with this guy. With some evil shit happens.
Yeah,
and it's been placed in his art.
Yeah,
and basically people who, the people who get involved, like either trying to sell it, because the thing is this art was supposed to be destroyed upon the real guy dying, and it wasn't, and that's when you get Renee and her little piggy bank fingers in it, and everybody gets involved in this art, trying to get filthy rich and famous, and basically. Some spirit. It's like a spirit movie again.
Yeah,
kind of psychological ghosty.
Yeah, and basically people start dying one by one based on the stuff that goes down with this art. And I got to tell you that when I saw the previews for this, I got very interested because, not the cast alone and the kind of thing that they were going for with the kind of surreal kind of like art feel of it, kind of had me really interested.
Yeah, I love the art color, how they really dug into that in the trailers. And Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy who did Nightcrawler are back again, which I loved Nightcrawler. What could go wrong? Really, I didn't think nothing go wrong. And upon seeing this film, boy, was I fucking wrong.
Yeah, this movie was definitely...
This movie was not good.
No, this movie was such a blow point of a lot of films that I've seen with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like... It definitely wasn't like...
I don't remember a film I ever didn't like with him. I'm trying to think.
The only one that I saw parts of was probably Prince of Persia, but I didn't fully watch that one.
Yeah, that one. So that was pretty much the only other Jake Gyllenhaal film, because he's like one of my favorite actors. And Man, was this a fucking disappointing movie. This was a terrible movie.
Yeah, this movie was... Where do I start? So, to get my pros out of the way, Jake Gyllenhaal, I think that he was the only character in the film that I actually kind of was interested a lot with, and his performance really carried a lot, especially the way he's talking in this very, sophisticated type of voice where he's very intellectual.
He's very artsy. He's very nerdy-ish.
Yeah.
And he takes his job very seriously, and I do like how his acting was in this film. I enjoyed him. I'll get into the character because the movie overwhelmingly wasn't good. I'll get into that, but yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal was my highlight.
Yeah, and I'll at least admit some of the.
I really liked the art theme. They did capture the art theme very well.
Some of the
very colorful. It was there and it worked. The tone worked really well with it.
Yeah, some of the other cast members I didn't think were too bad either. Like, it's good to see some.
They weren't too bad, but everything was hollowed.
Yeah, it was very just there, nothing really too special, but they did fine. But the rest of them, like you were saying, with the whole art feel they go through, the ways that the art paintings like start to like consume and basically like haunt the characters throughout, it does it in very like interesting ways, especially with some of the colors.
It does in an interesting way. Unfortunately, that's way towards like the last 30 minutes. That's the downfall of this.
Yeah.
And while this is a very interesting story, seeing a guy who did some bad shit, and then he's part of the art, and he's basically kind of killing people like a slasher type thing. While that's a good concept, unfortunately, what they gave us failed.
It's honestly, I think of it like this. It's like if you took, because if I remember correctly, wasn't Vigor from Ghostbusters 2 like that?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's inside the painting.
Yeah. Where he was in. It was like it was like doing similar to that, but an actual horror.
Yeah.
Not Ghostbusters. Which I did like that concept that they would have fucking done that the whole movie instead of goddamn the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and because the rest of the film, to get my other pros out of the way, the visual design that they have for the paintings are pretty cool, and I do like the score. Yeah. The score, in a way, for some reason, I don't know why, but the score reminds me of something from American Psycho, but in a good way. Like it has that.
I didn't really. It was so uninteresting. I didn't get into that.
Yeah, but also
it wasn't really memorable for me.
Yeah, but other than that, this is pretty much where we get into our cons.
Here's the cons. Let me start off. My one big problem with this film was, god damn, was this movie boring. It was so goddamn boring. I had to rewind this twice because I fell asleep. And this is the first hour and 5 minutes. It is literally just about a bunch of people, like, kind of like more drama where they're kind of screwing each other over, guy cheating on his wife, girlfriend, girl fucking around on him. It becomes like this business, screwing each other over type thing. And a lot of very art stuff that I was not interested at first until it started doing the cool thing with the killings. Everything else, I was just like, oh my god, this is drawn out.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. Like, that first hour or so, I was like, thinking to myself, like, man, this is so, like, boring and uninteresting. Because you gotta think, this movie is filled with an array of characters that are so empty and so hollow. There really is no, like, you really could have cut out all these different side characters and really didn't need to have them in the movie.
You know what it feels like? The first hour feels like a mixture of an art film, drama of, like, Sex in the City and 50 Shades, but without the sex, but, like, going, like, that whole drama feel. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just going back and forth. It's just like, oh my god, man.
I think
another thing I did not like was the editing in this film. The way they shot this film, and it would go to another scene, it would black out like a TV show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The film does have a very kind of like almost a TV TV series quality. Like, for example, if you ever seen I believe that if this movie would have been kind of a Tales from the Crypt episode, it probably could have worked at that. They stretched this fucking movie out too long to the point that when you see the black fade outs.
Yeah, like you just said, really should have just been like a creep show or a Tales from the Crypt episode or something. It should never have been a full movie because you can see the writer struggling to stretch this out to runtime.
Yeah.
So that makes up for the whole hour of them just, everybody's just walking in on each other, talking, and, fuck you, I'm going to screw your life over. It's just like, god damn, what is it, Sex in the City?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, an episode of this would have worked, and plus also, you could have cut so many characters out that really had little to nothing to do with the plot. Like, there's like 5 or 6...
There's some characters in this big fucking names that are literally in this film, and they have nothing to fucking do.
Yeah. And it really becomes jarring because you're like, what was the point of that? Why did you have, that person, Yeah,
why do we have so many fucking characters in this?
Yeah. And
it's
not
like,
just...
God dang, man. They're turning something simple and we're trying to make it too complicated.
Yeah.
And, it's just, I don't know, man. Not only that, do you have any other...
Not really. I felt like the movie, it just had... It's hard to describe because it ends so abruptly.
I'll get into that. I said earlier I'd get into his character. Like I said, he was the highlight of the movie. But I didn't really care for anything else about him because the movie was so boring and just uninteresting that it just like... When the shit does happen that we mentioned in our pros does happen, it was cool. But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was just like that. I mean...
Yeah, and that ending, I felt, not going to go into detail, it was so abrupt and to the point that I was just like, what the fuck?
You knew it was fucking coming.
Yeah.
You knew exactly how it was going to fucking end. And I was like, yep, it ended just like that.
Exactly.
I am happy because guess what? I don't have to watch this anymore.
Yeah. So overall, without having to go in much into spoiler, that's pretty much how I feel about the movie. It was such a disappointing because the guy who did Nightcrawler and came back to do this.
From Nightcrawler to this.
I know.
I don't get it. I mean, he seriously showed a lot of talent. It was a lot of talent in Nightcrawler. Had less actors than this movie, but then you look like you're back to like square one. Like it looked like a student trying to become somebody. Like where it's not good. But it's really not bad. It's bad. But you can actually can if this was done by like a new student, I can give him credit. But this guy came from Nightcrawler to this.
Yeah, so
I mean, it was like a drop off a cliff on that. But yeah, I have nothing else to say. I was really upset by seeing this and how it turned out. And with that being said, like I said, some of the pros happened, like the things I mentioned I did like happened in 15-minute window. You lose that 15 minutes of not having that, this movie could have easily been an F for me. But with that being said, I'm going to give this a low, extremely low disaster grade on the Film Phreeks meter.
Fair enough. I'm going to give this movie just a regular disaster grade. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fucking boring, but I felt like there were... It wasn't like... It wasn't like excruciatingly bad, but it was still pretty fucking disappointing. So,
and it's pretty bad that the way how bad undisappointing Polar turned out. That ended up being a way better movie than this.
Yeah,
for me, so that was pretty bad.
Fair enough. Yeah, I hear you. Well, for those of you who have also seen Velvet Buzzsaw, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And check out some other reviews here and on our website at filmphreeks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.